What if I told you the fastest way to make millions of dollars, or even billions, has nothing to do with inventing some crazy new tech? What if it's all about mastering simple, mundane, even downright boring businesses? Well, that's what we're going to break down today. This is the playbook for turning everyday services into an absolute fortune. And this quote right here, it just flips the whole script on what a million-dollar idea is supposed to be. It comes from someone who's actually done it, and his point is simple. The key isn't some stroke of genius. It's commitment to something simple. And look, this isn't just some theory from a book. The guy who created this playbook is David Heacock. And his boring business? It's an air filter company. I mean, it doesn't get much more boring than that, right? Except it pulls in a staggering $22 million every single month. So yeah, when a guy like that lays out a playbook, you listen. So, Heacock basically says there are two main ways to go about this. On one side, you've got property-oriented businesses, which are all about owning assets that make you money. On the other, you have service-based businesses, which are built on what you know. Let's start with property.
This is the one everybody dreams about, right? The whole passive income thing, making money while you sleep. But as we're about to see with a few classic examples, the reality, well, it's a little more hands-on.
First up, the humble ATM. This is a classic boring business. You place a box in a busy spot like a nail salon or a convenience store, and it just spits out cash from transaction fees. And the potential here? Well, let's just say it can get pretty wild. Just look at the story of this one retired cop. And see, this is the key right here. Paul Alex didn't just quit his day job and bet the farm. He started with one machine for about $2,000. He proved it could make $500 a month in profit. Then he slowly started expanding. This is that pattern we're going to see over and over. Start lean, prove the model, and scale deliberately. That's how you go from one machine to an $8 million a year business. Next up, laundromats. Now this is what's really wild. A 95% success rate. That is almost double the average for a small business. No wonder people are drawn to them, right? That is an incredible amount of stability. But yeah, here's the catch. And our source is super clear on this. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. That whole passive income dream, it's pretty much a myth. You're constantly dealing with machine maintenance, keeping the place clean and safe. It's a real business, not a money machine you just forget about. Okay, this last property business, it's just brilliant. It's all about turning someone else's emergency into your profit. Think about it. When a factory's crucial air compressor breaks down, they aren't shopping around for the best price. They are bleeding thousands of dollars every single hour. They will pay whatever it takes to get back online. And you're the one with the solution. Okay, so property businesses. Great for making thousands a month. Solid. But if you're thinking bigger, like millions or even billions, that's where service-based businesses come in. They generally have way lower startup costs and a much, much higher ceiling for growth. Let's take something like HVAC, right? The barrier to entry here isn't cash, it's knowledge. And the playbook is so simple. First, you actually learn the trade. Then you pick one small town and just own it. You use modern marketing like social media, which, by the way, most of these old school guys are totally ignoring. You perfect your system, and only then do you even think about expanding. See that pattern again? Minimal cost, prove it works, and own your backyard first. This story from a small town in Alabama just perfectly illustrates a super important point. See, anyone can tow a car. The market's crowded, the margins are thin. But this guy, the local millionaire, he wasn't just any tow truck driver. He found his niche. He invested in the specialized rig to tow 18-wheelers. So when a semi breaks down on the highway, it is an absolute emergency. And guess who gets to name his price? And this idea can scale to absolutely insane levels. I mean, look at waste management. It's an $80 billion industry. This guy, Patrick DeVigi, he didn't invent picking up trash. He just started buying up all the small local companies. He built momentum, and then bam, he lands a massive city contract, and that's what launched GFL into a multi-billion-dollar empire. So you see it, right? From ATMs to HVAC to taking out the trash, there is a clear pattern here. And our source boils all of these success stories down into a simple, super powerful 3-step checklist that works for pretty much any of these businesses. But before we get to the checklist, I have to tell you about John. This guy started a window cleaning business with, and I'm not kidding, a squeegee, a bucket, and some soap. That's it. Today, his business does $10 million in revenue, and he personally pockets $4 million a year in profit. His story is the perfect setup for rule number 1. And here it is, the playbook. Number 1, start lean, just like John. Your goal isn't to make a lot, it's to spend almost nothing. 2, validate fast. This is huge. Get people to say, yes, I will pay you for this before you go all in and buy the expensive truck or the fancy office. Sell it first, figure out how to deliver it second. And 3, focus hyper-locally. Stop trying to conquer the world. Conquer your street. Conquer your neighborhood. Perfect your systems there first.
And if you think that hyperlocal thing is just for small-time businesses, just look at Domino's. We all forget that this global giant, they started by delivering pizzas in one college town in Michigan. That's it. They figured everything out, the process, the delivery, the marketing, serving that one little neighborhood. And that became the foundation for everything.
All right, so what's the big takeaway here? How do we apply all this and find our own angle? Look, the most important lesson is this. Stop trying to come up with the next Facebook. Seriously. Instead, just look around your own community. What's inefficient? What service just plain sucks? Who has terrible online reviews but is somehow still in business? The opportunity isn't a million miles away, it's probably right down the street. Because that's really the final lesson, isn't it? You don't need some brilliant, revolutionary idea. You just need to find one small, unique angle on a boring, everyday problem. If you really study your local market, find that little edge, and just commit to it, that could be your gateway to building something absolutely massive.